Force inducted. Yes, sir. Yes, it's a very, very good weekend to be a Texas fan. And I got to say this real quick. VP, Casey Thompson is not god awful. Go look at his hand and you see the the downward trend in his play from that hand injury versus Oklahoma. He was playing well up until that point, and especially in that Oklahoma game. He's a decent quarterback. The offensive line is going to be better next year. I mean, there's a list of possible transfers, and we'll jump on that real quick that I we can talk about. They're on some of them are on the offensive line, some of them aren't. Brady Boyd comes to mind, Minnesota commit, went to high school with Quinn Ewers, friends with Quinn Ewers. If Texas offers him, I fully expect him to be here. Uh, he's really good friends with Quinn. He had good connection with him on the field in high school, so that would be one to look out for. Another one is Curtis Dunlap. He's 100% crystal ball to Texas right now. He is a four-star offensive lineman from Minnesota. He will be a fifth-year senior though, so he's a plug-and-play guy. But hey, there's no shame in that. That's the type of guys we need to win right away. You're not win. No offense to Kelvin Banks, you don't win with freshman offensive linemen. I think he's going to be tremendously talented. I think Kyle Flood's going to cater to what he needs. And I think he's going to be developed. And I think there's a really good chance he can be a first or second round pick in the NFL when he comes out in 3 years. But he's not the answer right away. Could he play right away? Yes. Will he be spectacular right away? Probably not. That just doesn't happen. You don't see many plug and play freshmen. The only name that comes to mind on the offensive line and not even at tackle is Creed Humphrey. And those guys are very, very, very rare. Like I said, do I think he'll play? Yes. But if you want to win right away, you got to go get guys like this. Curtis Dunlap, offensive lineman from Minnesota, has a lot of starts under his belt. He was a Big Ten second team or third team All-American at one point there at Minnesota. So he's a good player. Those are the type of guys you need. Another one, not on the offensive line, but cornerback Ryan Watts, 4-star from Texas. He's transferring from Ohio State. I think Texas has a really good shot at him. He'd be a junior, and we need depth there. The cornerback position has not been a strong suit. We haven't really had great play there other than the 1 year from Holton Hill a couple years ago in 2017. So we need someone to come in and fill that spot and play very well. Next up, we have Victor Oluwatimi. Sorry, his name is very hard to pronounce. Victor Oluwatimi. He's a Remington Award finalist. Didn't win. The guy from Iowa won. Sorry. But he, again, good. He's a plug and play player. He was second team All ACC. He started 32 straight games in a row. This is a guy you plug and play. This is the type of guy, in my opinion, we need to go get. In a perfect scenario, you go get a guy like Curtis Dunlap from Minnesota. You go get a guy like Victor Oluwatimi from Virginia. You plug those guys in, you play them, you develop the young guys behind them. That is a perfect scenario for Texas. That's what they need to do. Another offensive lineman, Kane Lyles, fifth-year senior from Wisconsin. I love Wisconsin offensive linemen. We all should love Wisconsin offensive linemen. They've been fantastic. So we need to go get one of them. Again, another plug and play player. That's 3 guys. If you plugged all 3 of them in, you have your center. I'd actually give Jake Majors and Junior Angulau a chance to compete for those positions. But let's say they lost and these guys won. You legitimately could just plug those 3 guys in, and then you have all of these recruits plus anyone else on the roster. You can have a gigantic competition for your 2 tackle spots. And I think you could have a really good offensive line if that were the case. So I think that's what they need to do. One other guy that we'll talk about, obviously we know him as Texas fans. He's on the other side of the rivalry with Oklahoma, Theo Weiss at wide receiver. Marvin Mims' name was hovered around out there. I don't think he actually officially entered the transfer portal. He would be higher on my list than Theo Weiss, but obviously a former 5-star recruit. Hasn't really done much at Oklahoma, but again, a 5-star recruit, and our wide receiver room is thin, so we need wide receivers.